Welcome to Quantum Business Shifts with Yuval Roden and Coach Hess here. We're thrilled to have you here, and today we're talking about quantum principles. All realities coexist simultaneously. Yuval, what do you got to say about that? Let's kick it off with kind of a summary of what that's all about.
That's a magic. We are now exploring the magic of life, the magic that not that many people very much aware of. You see, in the quantum physics, actually in the game of life, all realities are coexist now at the present time, simultaneously. And our life are much more similar to a bunch of TV channels rather to anything else. So yes, we live our life in a specific channel, but people are not aware that they can really change the frequency and immediately jump to another channel. Isn't it a magic?
That
What do you
is
think?
That is fantastic. I have an example of where as a coach, I've worked with somebody that we changed the channel. We really did do a great job of changing the channel, and it worked like this. This gal, after I was done giving a presentation on a stage, or whatever, I walked off the stage. She grabbed me and said, "Coach, I only made $500 this month. I'm going through a divorce. I have two kids going into high school right now, and I'm in trouble. Will you help me?" And of course, being who I am, I said, "Yeah, let's figure this out." And so we had a couple coaching sessions. She was a organizer and packer. She went out for her second job, or her first job, and I put a price. I'm putting the model together in terms of what your margin is, and what you should charge, and the basic stuff. And she went out, and the job was to be $200. She came back, and she only got to 150 for it. And I said, "Wait a minute. Latoya, that's not how business works. That's not how you should be functioning. You will not be in business if we go down this path. We have to change today." So what I did is I pulled out her disc assessment, where she sits in a very high S, or a stable, which is like a dove, want to please people. And so I, Latoya, this is where you are, and maybe where you are. Take a look at this profile, which was a D, a dominant individual. And I said, let's role play for a little bit here. So we role played real quickly in terms of taking that D. We did 5 or 6 examples. We talked about price, she was dominant. She wanted her demanding, all of the things that she could profile inside of this other person. Guess what? She got her price from that point forward. Here we are 6 years later. She's always got her price point. She's grown from now into dealing with exclusive apartments and homes as a realtor, and just really grown and taken off. And it all happened because of that one quantum leap that we took, I think, in changing her mindset of, now I can flip the switch and be like this, because you can be whoever you want to be, people. You can be whoever you want to be. You just have to recognize kind of what your strengths and skills are, but you can change the channel.
You know what's happened? We have been programmed to believe that this is only one reality. So if you just make it like TV channels,
Yeah.
actually most of the people try to change the movie in their own channel. And this is the channel. They cannot change the movie. Instead of really shifting themselves or change the frequency in the remote they are to another channel. And it is so simple. Instead of struggling, you can really have amazing life if you just shift or change your inner frequency. So this is something that we would like to live with people. Instead of struggling, just shift the frequency in your own remote and you immediately jump to another channel. I did it in my life. That's what my clients are really facing when they understand how simple it is really just to jump between one to another to a third realities. And all realities are coexist. Yes, our mind cannot really grasp it. It's beyond our understanding. But if you just accept the idea that everything here is less physical and much more on frequencies dimension, then it's much more like TV channels or radio channels or any other channels. So if you control your own frequency and you are coming from and not to, because all the people has been programmed to be here and want here, and they try to struggle. But here, they don't have it. And the frequency they transmit, they don't have it. So they attract, they don't have it. And that's why they never get it, or they get it very slow, or they get it on very slow linear progress. But if you keep your frequency high, then you immediately you attract what you want. You really shift yourself for another channel, for another frequency.
And so if we bring the element of time into that, right? I mean, how quickly, because there's things you might have to drop that you're locked into, right? I want to change this movie rather than change this channel, like you were mentioning. And how do we fit, how quickly can things happen? What's the time element that happens as we make these shifts? I was suggesting with Latoya that that was a pretty quick time element there for a learning that was a quantum leap. And I guess that's the light bulb learning or the blind flashing of the obvious that all of a sudden happens that's been there that we'd like to uncover. So how do we deal with time in this? What's some thoughts and the timing of and what is time? Is it really a linear concept, or is there something more about us when we think about time?
Time is emotion. People do not realize that time equals emotion.
Mhm.
Okay? When you're a winner, things really clicking in your life. No matter what you touch, you immediately get this, get this, get it, get it. You really attract things in a very short, very squeezed time. If your self-esteem is much lower, then you really struggle. Then everything become very slow. Everything become like chewing gum. You really, really, really have to work very, very hard in order to get things. And this is because our inner friction.
Right.
Winners, by definition, they are keeping themselves in a very high frequency. They know how good they are. They know that really can get everything. And their inner friction is very minimal.
Interesting.
Other people, the hose is almost kinked, right? They are kinking the hose. So the
Yeah.
flow of energy is very much restricted. So the way to shift time, the way to shift channels is to shift yourself. And this is a game. This is a game of life. Shift yourself. Don't try to change reality. Don't try to shift reality. Shift yourself and you jump to another reality.
Fantastic. Very, very good. As you were talking about time and, that the element of that, one of the things that I write in peak experiences and I talk quite a bit about is that when you have these peak experiences in life, time slows down and a massive amount of information's coming at you, which you're trying to deal with a little bit, but it's slowed down. Think of a car accident and you see that, people see that in slow motion. When you have these peak experiences, you have this slow motion, I think, effect, which is really us manifesting a lot of new info. Well, one of the things I found, in terms of time when I experienced that, I went off the back of a ski slope, a place called Lake Louise in kind of middle Alberta, I guess, southern Alberta a little bit. And I was living in Calgary, Alberta at the time, and I was paying attention to the snow because I like deep powder, and who doesn't? That's really into the skiing. I'd been skiing for 30 years. So it wasn't like I didn't have a little deliberate practice when I had this ultimate peak experience in deep snow. But going up the slope, a massive amount of snow, getting there first thing, get the first, get the chairlift all the way to the top, take the rope to all the way to, and there's this big bowl in the back where it's got just where I knew snow would just be circling. But you had to take about a 20-foot drop off of the crevice on the back to drop into it. So I just got there and did it, dropped in, ooh, and it's like falling into a cloud. And talk
Wow.
about everything just slowing down to almost nothing and having control in a 3D sense. You're not on the snow, you're in the snow. The deeper you wanted to go, just drop yourself down and up, and that would adjust your speed. Take the fall line straight on full bore. And it was just an experience that just took me to a whole nother level. And time really did almost stop within it. When I completed that and I look back at that and I'm going, what was that all about? and I felt confidence. I recognized how many years I'd been skiing and how I'd not felt that perfect moment before. And what did that mean going forward is look at all the other deliberate practice I've done and things. And it quantum leaped me in my confidence and my speaking ability and all these other things that I took on in life. One little moment that, again, took a lot of practice to get there, but oh, what an experience. And I think that's the quantum leaps that we want to find in our lives that, mentally we have to be prepared to take them on.
Have you noticed that when you are happy, time flies, and when you are sad, time really slow down?
What's the deal with that? So true.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because time is really emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. How exciting is that to conclude? Well, we've
I
covered.
have a question for you.
Yeah,
Tell
please.
me why there might be situation where two different people having the same identical actions and they are getting complete different results. What do you
Well,
think?
yeah. Yeah, it's all the mindset that goes with it, isn't it? I mean, people can work the same number of hours, do the same this, do all follow all the process and system, but they don't have the same success between the two. Why is that? And I think that you're pointing very clearly to the energy that one brings and the flow that they have in their process of what they're doing. And again, it's got to be the individual that makes the difference if the process is the same, right?
So
And they
what makes the
follow the exact
difference?
thing. What is, and there's such in this time of the AI craziness and all the stuff going on in the world, this human element touch that you're bringing forward right now is important for people to hear and recognize because the human element is not going away. And to be able to take that, like you say, compare doing two different things, just two different people using the same chat GTP or Gemini 3.0 or whatever they're on, they're going to have different results in terms of their external world from what they deal with there, aren't they?
So why they have different results? In my eyes, one of them he's living in one channel and the other one living emotionally on the frequency of different channel. One is
Mhm.
trying to convince, is trying to sell,
Yeah.
is trying to prove himself.
Yeah.
The other one, he just knows he has a right product, he has a best product, and is not trying to sell. He knows this game is already done. He already sold this equipment or whatever he's selling or the service. So in his eyes, in his frequency, he's coming from a done deal. And
Right.
there is no question mark. So the frequency or the channel that he's living here in is just different channel. For him, it's obvious. It's not a question. For the other one, for the other guy, maybe, maybe not. Depends on the client and all that kind of things. So they are doing the same actions, but one is coming to the cell, one is coming from. It's already a done deal. And this is very much in the way that we live our life in different frequencies. And it is so simple to switch between frequencies if you just really know how it really works.
I think when early in life, I recognized the difference between sympathy and empathy. And when I had that realization, it was part of, wait a minute, it's the external side of me that, it's not all about me. As much as you want to believe that when you're young and, as life goes on, you learn very quickly that it's not all about you. And the more it's not about you, the more you can serve and the more you can provide, you know, um, to the fulfillment of your potential in life.
Yes, you and I, we are not very old, but we had some experience and we already know it's not about us at all.
Right.
And once you really shift this perception, once you really understand it, things become so simple,
Yeah.
so enjoyable. You're really squeezed years to months because things are really coming to you because you just want to give. You don't want to get. So this has really accelerated everything in life.
Yeah. I think that putting that message out, hopefully we're providing some knowledge to people that can take these quantum leaps and can, move forward at a much faster pace, I guess, and compress their time through their emotion that they put into their time, eh? I love it. Um, any concluding statements here before we wrap up about this episode?
I think what we try actually to do in the 5 episodes is to open a crack or a window for people for something that is beyond this daily rate race. And if we succeed just to wake up few people all over, then in this series we made our part.
I
Then we
love it.
succeed.
Well, we'll be wrapping up more episodes, and we'll be pulling that together as we move along. It's been a great run for these five, and we're gonna, if you haven't caught the earlier ones, they're available on YouTube. Make sure you catch them, and we appreciate your time today. Thank you for being a part of Quantum Business Shifts with Yuval Roden and Coach Hess.
And thank you so much for being with us. It's really an honor. We're here for you whenever you need us.
All right.